Hello and welcome to Inside the Mind of, a podcast where I dive deeper into the minds of some of my favorite people and people who inspire me in the wrestling community. I, of course, am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe. I won't do the full thing. That's for the other show. But my guest today, she is my co-host on ShElite Showcase. Yes. She's the Young Bucks Nation sensation, the fire-breathing, the Rhodes family-eating, the spice of life, the sassy senorita that I know. Yes. She's also the host of Insa, Light the Fuse, and News Takeover. I'm getting all my shows confused now. I'm, of course, talking about Miss Y2 Garcia, Savannah. Finally.
What's up, Katie? Yeah, this has been a long time coming, and that's finally happening. Very excited. I don't know why I'm a little nervous too. I'm just answering questions. I answer questions all the time.
This is nothing new. I mean, we do a show every week together.
Exactly, but I don't know why. It's just a little different, but it's okay. It's good, different. I'll survive.
Because you're the one who has to do the most of the talking this time.
I guess that is true. That is true. Okay, that's fine.
But okay, so we start with a softball. We start with an easy one, and a question that I know the answer to, but a lot of people might not know. Savannah, tell the people how you got your start in podcasting.
Well, yeah, like Katie said, of course she knows, because if we're doing, I'm not going to keep it short, because, Katie needs content. But, the short answer is Katie got me into podcasting. But the longer story is back in 2020, when the world was shut down and no one was doing anything, everyone was stuck at home, just worrying about not getting COVID. I was thrown into a group chat with Katie for a little challenge we did together on Instagram. It was the Don't Rush challenge, like Young Bucks edition. Fun times. It was honestly a really cool challenge. It came out good. Both Bucks loved it. And ever since then, like, we had grown closer to each other. I'm one of the few that Katie still talks to from that original chat, and Katie's one of the few people I still talk to from that original chat. So much has happened. Obviously I won't go into detail on that, but from there, that's how Katie and I met. And then we would talk just amongst, like, not directly one-on-one, but we would talk, with each other, with other chat members, and it was fun. And Katie wanted to do a podcast, her origin story from how she started podcasting. And when she told us that she was going to do a podcast and stuff, I was really excited for her. And so I started watching. She's the reason why I started watching Smacked Raw, because of Katie. Because, so they gained a new loyal follower because of Katie, because I was like, I'm so happy for her. I want to support her. And sure enough, as time went on, she wanted to do her own thing. She wanted to host her own show. I believe when she hadn't officially became like a host yet, but she was hosting a Monday Night Raw recap. She had asked me to be on as like a guest. And it was a lot of fun, and I realized how much I loved doing this. So when Katie finally decided to go and do her own thing, she asked me to be the co-host, and I was super excited because, she was, again, I say it all the time, she does all the work, and she did do all the work. I just had to show up, and, I was able to incorporate my own stuff, like Katie mentioned, like the Fuse, New Japan Takeover, but really, she's the reason why I was even able to start doing something that I really love, which is podcasting. So if it weren't for her, I would not be doing any of this.
Oh. See what I do? See what I do for people? I bring new people into the world.
Yeah.
You're my child.
Yeah, her podcast child.
You are my podcast child. And it was actually, I think it was like a Survivor Series recap or something, because we didn't do
You're
it
right.
live.
We did predictions.
Yeah.
We did Survivor Series predictions. That was the first time Katie and I were like this, just the two of us. The other time we had, I think it was Kevin with us.
Yes, it was Kevin.
Yeah.
What a time that was. Yeah, but I remember you being super, super nervous when we did Survivor Series. And, like, I keep saying Survivor Series, but I'm like, that's what I'm, like, 90% sure it was.
It was. I remember we were talking about, like, how Lana was going to be the lone survivor by just doing nothing, and sure enough, that's how it happened.
Wow. Oh, my God. We predicted the future.
We did predict the future. Look at us.
Frickin' Raven-Symoné who?
Yeah.
So, like Savannah said, we did a little bit of ShElite on Smacked Raw. We did like 11 episodes over there. I like looked
I
back the other
believe so.
day.
11.
Which is crazy to think about. We were there for that long doing that. And then now you're here, guys. Now we're here.
We're our own thing.
We're our own entity. You know,
Exactly.
moving up in the world. 181 YouTube subscribers.
Ooh, we're getting there. We're pushing 200.
Every day, so like I have a routine. It's like I check the email for the show. I check YouTube for like whatever, and like I look at views and stuff because I'm weird and have problems. And the past like few days, like I keep getting like emails being like, "Oh, this person subscribed," and I'm like, it's a nice feeling, you know. People like watch our content, and people like our content.
Enough to subscribe also, because that means they want to come back for more. They want to see like when the next time maybe we'll upload something is.
Exactly. And you know that kind of leads me to my next point. I don't even want to count how many episodes of ShElite we have done on our own. It's been a lot. I know it's over 70. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, already.
Over a year worth of content between the two of us on ShElite. Do you have any favorite episodes?
We kind of briefly talked about this when we did our 1 year show. Favorite episodes? I don't know. Like, there's just, first of all, now that I'm being put on the spot, going back and thinking about it is definitely like, shit, now I gotta think of something.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of them has to do with the fact because like of the question of the week, because those are always a lot of fun and we had a lot of like chat interaction.
Mm-hmm.
The one where we did like we mentioned this in our 1 year show, like the candies as wrestlers, probably one of my favorite episodes. What is a confetti egg? I think is one of my favorites because we just had a whole side tangent on confetti eggs, and it's Easter season actually, so I see them. I'm seeing the confetti eggs everywhere, and people are making their confetti eggs. So I'm just like, oh, it's so weird how like Katie doesn't even have this shit at her Walmart.
Nope. I do not. She is correct.
I should like if they weren't so fragile, I would probably like send you a carton just so like you could see the wonder that is confetti eggs. But like
so
they're fragile though. Like they would probably come all broken. Like just cracked colored eggshells with confetti everywhere. Basically, I'd be sending you a glitter bomb, like an equivalent of a glitter bomb.
Basically, yeah, that's what you'd be sending me. So maybe let's not do that.
maybe not, but yeah, that's probably also one of my favorites. The one where we talked about it was the same show we did. I believe it was like right after Dynamite. It actually was right after Dynamite because Thunder Rosa had just won the championship, the women's championship, and it was the first time I cried on the show. Like, and I was just so happy for her. It's a moment that honestly sometimes I go back to watch because it was a very surreal moment for me, and I do miss her a lot. So probably around like those three could be like a top three. I'm pretty sure if I went back and watched all of them, it would be a little different. But just thinking off the top of my head, those would have to be my favorite that I can think of at the moment.
I mean, you also are a big fan of when we do like our seasonal episodes, like Spooky Showcase, seasonal showcase.
That is true, but I feel like those are a given because everyone loves those. Like Spooky Showcase, we dress up. Seasonal Showcase, it's all things Christmas. We talk about Christmas movies and stuff. Spooky Showcase.
It's the holiday season.
Yeah, it's holiday season. In Spooky Showcase, we recasted it, which I thought was fucking hilarious. We're going to hell. We casted MJF as Stan because they're both Jewish. I'm like, we're going to hell. We're going straight to hell.
I mean, I could have told you I was at least going to hell, so that was nothing new to me.
I know, but I'm just letting everyone know. We know we're going to hell because of that. We know.
We've been new, guys. It's okay.
We've been new. We're in the know. Don't worry.
So one of my favorite things is since we live stream, anything and everything will happen. So, with that being said, anything, like any unexpected moments that have happened on the show, whether it's ShElite Showcase with me and you, or anything like the Fuse, New Japan Takeover, whether they were like, caught you so off guard you didn't know what to do, made you laugh hysterically, made you cry, the Thunder Rosa thing excluded because you knew that was going to make you cry.
Yeah. Well, Okay, because I kind of knew it was gonna make me cry, but I hadn't cried about the situation up until that point, and that was talking about Jay Briscoe, that like when Warner Bros wouldn't like
Oh yeah.
fucking when they wouldn't let them give him a proper tribute show like they did with Brody because of like some shit he's apologized for in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I went kind of like on a rant about that, and I kind of started crying, and I wasn't expecting to because again, like talking about it before and like even the news itself, it was of course sad, but I hadn't cried about it until then. So I guess you could say that was unexpected, or I think this was before we started going like recording, but we were live. Yeah, it did happen. I had like a mental breakdown because I was like I vented to you like we were live already, and I like vented to you about like all this shit that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I cried. I cried a little before we even started, and it was it was bad when Matt told me he would take it easy on me and not make fun of the elite because he was
Yeah.
like, all right, like mental health's important. I won't make fun of the elite.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you knew it was pretty bad. I wasn't expecting to cry right before the show then. And no, crying is not the only unexpected thing that's happened to me. There were a few times in the very beginning that I started locking my door when I would my one of my family members would try to walk in, and I'm like stop. I'm like looking off camera, like leave. Like one of my sister came in one time and she almost knocked my light over. Like I was like, oh
I
my god.
remember
It's
that.
because the way I'm set up, the light's like right in front of my door because like it's across from me. So it's like right next to my door. So if you open the door and you don't know the lights there, you're gonna tip it over. And we're live, we're doing the show, and this happens and it almost tips. So I got pretty pissed. Ever since then, they've kind of had the understanding of look, I record at 4-ish, and so don't bother me. But just to be sure, I lock my fucking door and I put my phone on do not disturb so that way no one fucking calls me. Like if it's a text, I'll answer it because Katie doesn't care if I go on my phone, but like just think if like there's an emergency or if something's happening, they can text me, and I kind of know this, like, and I've told myself that like if I have to go, I'll let Katie know, and I'm pretty sure she'll understand.
Yeah.
But just to avoid anything like that, phone is on do not disturb, laptop's on do not disturb, and my door is locked because I'm like, I'm not having any of this happen again. The only other unexpected things that can happen is sometimes something falls or someone's screaming and you could hear it from downstairs, but I don't think it's been caught before because no one asks, well, what's that and stuff. So that's
There's
about.
there's times where I can hear stuff on my end in my headphone, but like the audience can't. Like there's random like your neighbor's dogs barking. I can always hear that, but like the people watching and listening legit never can or they never say anything. And I always thought that was so weird to me because I'm like, well, how am I hearing it but you guys aren't?
Yeah, that's or like the dogs barking. Like I'm pretty sure you could still hear them barking sometimes, but no one else could hear them. So I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me how it works like that, but that's okay. It happens. And
Yeah.
as someone who's cried on stream many a time, I understand.
Mm.
It happens to them. I did a whole episode live where I was crying the entire time. Throwback to Smack Draw.
Oh yeah, when you did the Brody Lee tribute. Oh, that shit was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Just so sad.
I said I am never doing a tribute episode like that ever again, and I have stayed true to my word, because that was the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life, and really fucked with me emotionally that day. So,
Oh, you can only imagine.
hoorah!
Yeah.
So when you're not being a Young Bucks mark, if you will, or an elite mark, I'll use the lingo, a stan, a big fan, if you will. If you're not doing anything wrestling related, and again, I also know the answer to these, but tell the people some of your other hobbies that you like to do that you enjoy.
Well, this isn't a hobby. Trust me, it's not a hobby. But I am a full-time college student at the moment. I'm like on my third to last semester. I'm on spring break currently. That's why we're doing this right now. That's why we're doing this show. Yeah. So, and not I'm not like everyone who goes out and travels to the beach and shit for spring break. I don't do that. I stay at home, and I do extra credit for my French class by making zucchini gazpacho. That's what I do on my free time during spring break. So, no, I'm not a cool person. I don't fucking care. I mean, look at my walls. This screams
Hey,
you're a geek for wrestling.
hey, that's
But
okay.
yeah, full-time college student. Something I really do like to do, and I've kind of acknowledged it a few times on the show, but I absolutely love painting my nails. If you're watching, this is why you should watch. You could see. I've changed my right hand a lot more often, not only because they don't last as long because I use my right hand more, but
Mhm.
also because, I don't do nail art on my right hand. Obviously, I'm right-handed. I can't do shit like much with my left hand. But if you look, I have different greens because, St. Patrick's Day is coming up
Yeah.
and it's March, so I have different formulas, but the same color. And then the other one, if you look at my shirt, you can see it's like the little oil pastel thing that Matt Jackson did on Being the Elite Ones. I put that on my nails.
Which is
See,
insane. The fact that
there
you've
you
got
go.
a whole like ass sunset on your nails.
It took so long, Katie. Like that's the thing. Like I love nail art and I love painting my nails. Painting my nails easy because again, I just paint them, let them dry, that's it. But doing nail art, as much as I love it, oh my god, it is so frustrating sometimes. These took like 4 to 5 hours, and not because like, oh, the steps. It's just repeating the same step over and over and messing up and trying it again and trying it again until it gets like not even good, but like okay, it'll do. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how long and that's what happened with these because you have to do a gradient, and what a gradient is you paint your nail the lightest color that you're going to use, and then you paint the stripes on a makeup sponge and dab them onto your nail, and then hope that it comes out good. And if it doesn't, if it comes out like all like a blob, you're gonna be doing this like me 15, 20 times. But yeah, it's still a hobby of mine. I collect nail polish. My favorite brand is called Hollow Taco, because the creator is a YouTuber that I like to watch. She loves nail polish too, obviously, I would hope so. And yeah, so that's honestly a hobby of mine that I actually got because of the pandemic. Because again, we were just stuck at home. I wasn't doing podcasting yet. I had nothing to look forward to really. And I would just watch this YouTuber's videos, like binge watch them. I was like, and then I would see her do her nails, and I'm like, I want like, and she, was had her own brand, and I was like, I want some of that, I want some of the nail polish, and I want to start collecting it. So I got my first ever like a little starter set, if you will. It's not that's not how it comes in the store, but like that's those are the ones I received for as a Christmas gift, and it was like one of like the newest collections, like one polish from the newest collection, and then a base in the top coat. And ever since I tried that nail polish, I was like in love. And now ever since then, I start collecting them, and I paint my nails all the time. I take care of my nails. I used to never take care of my nails. Like they would just like be whatever. Like I would clip them, but now I don't even clip them. I file them. I'm like, yeah, clipping's bad for your nails. So I file them. And it does take a little bit longer, but it is a little bit better for your nails. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of nail polish, doing nail art and stuff. And something else, but it is in connection with wrestling, is makeup. I like to do my makeup looks. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should, I do my merch picks with my wrestling shirts with a matching makeup look. Sometimes I'll get a little more creative. Sometimes I'll just do quick, same colors, but I mean, it still takes a bit. And I've definitely kind of slowed down on collecting makeup other than like the stuff that I might need in the future, like if I need a new foundation and stuff. But as far as like
Mm-hmm.
eyeshadow palettes to do these looks, I've definitely come to a halt because I have like I think almost like 10 or 11, which I know isn't a lot. I know people have a lot more, but it's a lot for me. And even then, I've not hit pan, like the pan on any single one of them. It just goes to show how much I have. And a lot of the same colors too. So yeah, it's those are two of my biggest hobbies. Um, Other than that, outside of wrestling is just my not just my hobby. It's like
Your life.
it, as you can see, it kind of owns me a little, just a little,
Just a smidge.
just a smidget.
And like every time you do like merch picks, I know people always anticipate the makeup that you do with it. So like once they see, like if you put on like your close friend story on Instagram, like which shirt or like a sneak peek of your merch picks or whatever, people get very excited because you are very talented in that aspect. I can't do
Thank you.
makeup for shit. So seeing you be able to do that, like you've done Darby makeup, you did the Terminator Kenny stuff, like
That one's probably my favorite
it's
Terminator.
insane. Like I major props because
Thank you.
I can't. I did makeup like I do it for special occasions, and even then, it's like rough.
Yeah. It does take practice though. Like I like also like sometimes I do think like I'll think of like, oh, I think this one came out pretty good, or I like how this one came out. But I also just kind of try to stay like, all right, don't get too ahead of yourself. Because it could obviously, one of my English teachers taught me that there's no such thing as perfection, which I do believe. So even like if you're like the best makeup artist out there or the best at anything out there, you could always be better. There's no such thing as perfect. And I know I'm definitely nowhere near as good as perfect. I see flaws. Like sometimes I see, okay, maybe this eye looks a little bigger than this eye. Maybe sometimes like I didn't use enough red here and this one looks a little darker. But I mean, sometimes you just have to bypass that and then learn the next time. And sometimes if you keep practicing, you'll improve. That's why I think I'm able to and that's why I like to do my merch picks with makeup, because it not only gets some practice in, but it can help for improvement, because something I've learned growing up is if you don't use it, you lose it. So if I stopped, I'm pretty sure if I stopped for like a month, I definitely would, like, for example, my eyeliner, I would get very shaky hands. It'd come out horrible. I'd my wings are still a little uneven, but they'll be like noticeably uneven. So it takes practice, and it definitely didn't happen overnight. Like this took a long ass time to, like, if I could show you, which I don't want to, old pics of how I used to do my makeup, my nails used to look, yeah, you would not believe that it is the same as how it looks now. And even then, I think, yeah, I was gonna say, and even then, I think I could like improve even more.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement. That's in anything you do. Like that's just kind of just a given.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Now, I am curious about how you're gonna answer this next one. So,
oh no,
it's one of my favorite questions I ask people. If you could have, like the table for three thing on like the network, except it'd be you and three other wrestlers, dead or alive. Who are you picking and why?
God. That's hard, Katie, because like there's so many that I love. There's so many that it would be cool to have.
Exactly.
Especially since you say dead.
Yep.
But like honestly, look, as hard as it is to like choose between all these wrestlers, because for different reasons you'd want to, like, at least I would want to like have a talk with any wrestler, just because there's some questions I would have for certain wrestlers. But I'm gonna keep it easy for myself also. Pretty easy pick, honestly. um Hangman Page. Absolutely. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorites. Well, here's the thing also, because like I would probably be so nervous around them. I'd probably like not talk at all. Like I just let them do the talking.
That's okay. Oh, yeah, you're gonna just like vibe in there, just
like even I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Out. Yeah. So Hangman Page, definitely one of them. Kenny Omega, obviously. I have the Kennys. Do I dare stroke one?
No.
Or...
no.
And then I do have a favorite young buck, so I'm gonna go with Matt Jackson.
See, I had a feeling you would go this route, but I also was interested to see if you would do like an Eddie, a Thunder Rosa.
That would be cool though, but like it would also be kind of stereotypical. I'm not here to give into stereotypes.
Well, those are two of your favorite people. That's why I was saying that.
Yeah, that is true. But that's what I'm saying also. In different circumstances, like if I had a table for three, like at a Chico's Tacos, yeah, I would definitely have Chico's Tacos with Thunder Rosa, Eddie Guerrero, and like Rey Mysterio. Like, Jesus. Yeah. But like if it's just very in general, then yeah, maybe like I'll just go with my three favorites,
I think this might be the first time that somebody has been like, well, if I go to this specific place, I want these three specific people.
Yeah, that's how it would be with me. Like if I was at a coffee shop, yeah, I'm taking like Matt Jackson because he likes coffee. I don't know who the fuck else likes coffee. I don't like coffee either, so like maybe I'll just take Matt. That's it, That's all. That's just the table for two. But like if we're going like if we're going to like area like southern areas like Cracker Barrel, I would take Hangman with me. Okay. So yeah, it depends. Given the circumstances, my answer would change. But since it's a very like general question, I'm just going with my top three.
Okay, that's like I said, not how I had an idea. That's kind of how you were leaning, but wasn't sure how you were gonna do it. It's okay, nothing wrong with that. Like I said, first time that somebody's had specifics for specific places. So that's a new one. Look at you go. Proud of you.
Yeah, look at me. I'm an original.
You are an original. And so you kind of brought up a little bit of advice earlier when you said your English teacher told you there's no such thing as perfect, things like that. So you are very new still to podcasting. You're a year and some change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do you have any advice you want to tell the people watching or listening? It can be podcast related, it can be life related, it can just be anything in general you would like the people to know.
Okay. I honestly, like, any advice I would like to give, first of all, like, there's a few things. Number one, like, always have someone or something to turn to. Someone, I have Katie. You know, you don't know how many times I've called Katie, like, crying because of some first world shit that I'm going through. Something for me personally, it's being the elite. You know, you guys think, like, I know I'm a mark, I get it, I don't fucking care what you say, but here's the thing, like, there's a reason why I idolize these people so much. You know, they mean a lot to me, they've helped me through sometimes when I'm just so mentally and emotionally drained. See, I'm not gonna cry
You're
just
not gonna
thinking
cry. It's
about it.
okay.
It's like,
It's okay.
no, I'm not. But when I'm so drained and I just need a moment to, like, just escape from reality, I just watch, there's other YouTubers too. Like, it depends, but like a lot of the times I find myself just watching an episode of Being the Elite, like a segment, a bit, really quick,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of, and you know, just the little laughs I can get from that, from these people, shows me that, like, okay, like, it eases me, it calms me down, it shows me that, look, all right, you're okay now, just, you know, you could take things one step at a time. So yeah, things like that. Find someone, something you can go to. And something that I've honestly lived by for a while, a few years, because that's when I, you know, read it. I and you yes, Katie and others are not the biggest fan of Chris Jericho, but I am, and he has written a few books, and in his fourth book he has the different principles of how he succeeded and got to where he is. I love that book a lot because, again, it's very inspiring. Same with the Bucks book, just reading their story and how they've gone through the roadblocks and stuff and still made it out on top. You know, it's inspiring, so I recommend you reading any of those, or any book that can, you know, inspire you, help you feel motivated. But in Jericho's book specifically, he has these principles that he follows, or that helped him get to where he is today. And one of the Jericho principle, which is like the second chapter, I believe, is believe in yourself or nobody else will. And that is something I do stand by, because sometimes there's moments where maybe I can't go to Katie right away. There's times where I'm not home, so I can't watch Being the Elite. So, or I can't, or sometimes you just feel like nothing can, you know, fix it, or sometimes you just feel stuck. Sometimes you just feel like there's no way out. There's no way, like, nothing's gonna help, nothing's gonna fix it. But I look at that principle, and, like, when I feel some sort of doubt, I just kind of think about it, and I'm like, all right, you know, it's a good little phrase to live by. Believe in yourself or nobody else will. Because if you can't even put a little bit of faith into yourself, how are you going to expect others to put faith in you? So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, as hard as it is, trust me, I know it's a lot easier said than done. You have to give yourself a little bit of credit before others could give it to you. Sometimes that's just how it is. Sometimes maybe you'll give yourself a little bit, you'll believe in yourself, and then others maybe will kind of give you some encouragement on the way, not because they're waiting for you to do it, but like, it'll just happen that way. Things happen for a reason, which is another thing I actually kind of live by. Like, when shit does happen, it happens for a reason, you know, like, there's a reason why things, you know, happen the way they do. You know, I kind of, like, I know it's a little bit hard to believe, and I think it's more superstitious than anything, or some people might think that. But, you know, one, for example, good example I like to think of is, you know, at All Out, it was my first AEW event, and I was really hoping that the Elite, especially because they were back together for like the first time in ages, I thought they were gonna have a meet and greet. I was like, this, like, there's no way. It's like, I felt like I got my hopes up, and of course they didn't have one, and I was pretty bummed, because I'm like, I was convinced. I was like, I'm never gonna meet either of them. Like, I was never meant to, like, meet any of them. And then, little did I know, less than 6 months later, in February, I was going to meet all three in the span of 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, like, you know, and I was able to give them their gifts and stuff. And I was thinking, like, I kind of thought back, and I was like, if I did this at All Out, I probably wouldn't have been able to, like, give them their gifts, or have, like, a little bit, like, a small moment the way I did with them when I was at the airport. Because there was only, as opposed to having hundreds of people waiting in line, and you're on a schedule because, you know, yeah, you're from a you have an allotted time slot from when you get there to when the signing's over.
Yeah.
You know, I had a little bit more like it was a little more freedom. It was a little more free to like I wasn't gonna hold them up because obviously they have to get to the hotel, which was across the street, might I add. But you know, they are obviously busy. So I was like, I didn't keep them for too long, but there was only like 7 of us there. And I was like one of two who were like, all right, here for the Bucks. Because one other person was wearing a Bucks shirt. I was wearing an Elite shirt. And they really just asked for a picture and something to sign. I was really the only one who had something to give and wanted to talk to them for a bit. So I kind of couldn't help but think like maybe that's why it didn't happen all out because it was supposed to happen here at the fucking airport. And and then sure enough, I got like a shout out on being the elite that next episode, you know, the next Monday. So it's just I'm like things work in a weird way. Like it's and sometimes they work out in the end, but again, it's a weird journey.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Things definitely do happen for a reason. Like karma is a thing that people I always I say it all the time. I'm like, that's karma. If you're a bad person, you do something bad and something bad happens to you, that's karma. It's like that kind of thing. And like things do happen for a reason. You're 100% correct. Whether that be good or bad things. Bad things do happen too, unfortunately. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's good things that happen for a reason. And fate is definitely a thing that I am fully behind. And luck. Some people don't believe in either of those things. And that's fine. I am definitely one of those people where I'm like, oh, it's luck that this happened. It's fate that this happened.
Yeah.
I mean, pandemic, as bad as it was, and as bad as it still kind of is, the pandemic brought me and you together.
Yeah, that would not have happened.
It brought me, like, a new group of friends to talk to, and that I talk to all the time. It brought this creativity out in people. So, things do happen for a reason. If there was no pandemic, there'd be no podcast.
Yeah, or just like things can come from like the weirdest situations, you know? Yeah. Like you said, the pandemic, like little did we know we were going to be in a podcast together, you know, before the whole pandemic happened.
Honestly.
Who knows?
I didn't even really know you until the pandemic.
We didn't follow each other, I don't think, until the pandemic, until we got put into that chat together. I don't think we were following each other. I was only following like 2 people, maybe 3.
Yeah, because I like just recently made that Instagram like right before the pandemic. So I was like, okay, I don't want to like bother my friends with like wrestling related things. So I started that Instagram for that. It's like the same reason why I have the wrestling Twitter that like I use all the time. Because I was like, I don't want to bother friends with all this wrestling stuff. So I'll just make notes.
I just kind of stopped giving a shit. I was like, you know what? If you like, I have family and stuff who follows me like on my Instagram, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I like wrestling, and you should know that. So.
Oh yeah, I honestly think for me, I like having 2 separate ones, because then I can kind of just like put all of my attention, all my wrestling stuff, all of the things
into one area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you talked about books. How Jericho has many a book. How the Bucks have a book. If you, Savannah,
oh Lord,
can or could write an autobiography of your life, whether it's your entire life, it can be your life right now, it can just be a segment of your life, what have you, what would be the title, and why are you choosing that title?
Dude, I don't know when I would choose my title. This is hard because, like, it could be anything, and I think it also could depend on what, like, you know, you said, like, it could be a segment, it could be your entire life story, you know, or it could just be like, you know, I don't know. It could. There's many. I think it varies. You know, it depends on what exactly you're talking about. Because if you're not talking about your whole life story, maybe don't don't incorporate something that can reference like the beginning when you're not really talking about that. I would probably want to include my not stage name, but like my online name with, you know, Y2 Garcia. I would hope that Jericho or the WWE does not sue me for that because, you know, the Y2 part, I'm using two, a number and a letter that literally anyone can use. And then it's my last name, so I would hope not.
I would assume not.
Um, I would probably want to do something based off that. I don't have an exact, like, yeah, I
That's
would
okay.
do it like this. But I think for sure, like, I'm pretty sure I'll have the answer to this at some point in the future. Who knows? But for now, I would just want the title to have my um user in it because I've told the story I think a couple times as to why my name is Y2 Garcia. And I was in like that phase. I was like middle school, early high school phase where like I was changing my name like all the damn time, and I really wanted something that'll like stick, like
Yeah.
something that I'm going to go by. That's how people are gonna know me. That's how like when I get all these notices, not really, but like you know they'll know like the name, they'll know the user. And I was still like stuck between like what should I do? I was kind of like doing like PW like pro wrestling dot Garcia like around something like that. P1 for like AJ dot Garcia. Like I've
Yeah.
kind of bounced around different names. And then finally I kind of settled on Y2 Garcia. I didn't expect it to be the name, but it just kind of happened. It just kind of stayed. Well, I was gonna probably change it again at some point if I thought it's something better, but it was just like a holder name in the moment. And then again, early, I was a freshman in high school. I remember because I was in math class. It was a free period. The teacher wasn't there, and the sub had no idea like what was going on. So we were just like doing whatever on our phones. I had no friends in that class. I had like maybe four friends in high school in general. So like, and I had like almost no classes into my entire high school life with them. Like
Of
maybe
course.
one or two here and there. So that class, I had no friends. So I was pretty deep into my phone watching like that's where I like watching Kenny on New Japan. I would watch YouTube videos whether it's about like wrestling or not.
Mm.
And I decided to go on Twitter. I was still pretty new to Twitter, and I decided to tweet a picture, or not tweet a picture. I just made like a tweet and I tagged Jericho in it, and he retweeted it, which that's not the reason why I go by that name. But it's what happened after that. So obviously, when someone retweets your tweet, every single person that follows them will see that tweet. And Jericho has like millions of followers, so of course a bunch of people are gonna see it. And so, um, someone did see it, and it's because at the time my profile picture was me standing next to a Dean Ambrose cutout, like doing the same pose. We were at WrestleMania Access. I was waiting in line, and around that time. I was new to Photoshop. I was like a newbie. I was like intro, level, and so I would mess around with it, and so I decided to color my hair pink in that picture because I was new to Photoshop. I was just playing with it, and I thought it looked so cool because again, I was wearing all my Dean Ambrose stuff. I was sitting next to the cutout, and I did it pink because when Mox had the pink hair, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." So that was my profile picture, and someone saw that, screenshotted it, tweeted it back to me, and asked me if I had mental issues, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I clapped back. I said no. He said, "How is your like?" He said, "How is your like mind? Do you have like problems right now?" Like I guess he was questioning like my sanity.
Yeah.
So I replied, I said, "No. How's your IQ? It must be lower than that comment you just made." And so I guess one of his friends or something replied to me saying, "Oh, Garcia, huh?" Because my Y2 Garcia. He was like, he saw my name, and he was like, "Oh yeah, when Trump becomes president, he's gonna deport your ass." I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like genuinely offended. Like if I got that now, I'd be like, "That's hilarious, bro." Like, but like I was genuinely offended. I was like, "Deport me for what?" I honestly wasn't even like in the know about what he was talking about. And then I kind of educated myself and realized that, oh shit, because my last name is Garcia, he thinks I'm Mexican and he thinks I'm illegal and he thinks I'm gonna get deported. I'm like, dude, first of all, I was born here.
You were born.
I was born in the United States, all right? Like, I know I live in a border city, but it was still on American soil, okay?
Sure.
So, ever since then, I decided to not only keep Y2 Garcia, but I did want my last name in there, Garcia, because someone tried and actually kind of succeeded at making me feel bad because of my family name, because of where I come from, because I'm Garcia, not because I like Jericho, not because I made a stupid comment to someone being mean back. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because of that. They saw my last name, which had nothing to do with the conversation, and used that against me to offend me. And it kind of worked. I was like, what, 14 at the
So you were
time?
young.
So I kind of reminded myself, and I kind of used that as a reminder. Like, I'm never gonna let anyone try and make me feel bad because of my last name, because my last name's Garcia and I'm Hispanic. Like, fuck that shit. Like, no one's gonna make me feel bad for my family name anymore. Because let me tell you, my family fucking rocks, and you wouldn't know because you just judge someone just based on their name. There's so many fucking white people names that I know who fucking suck, but you don't see me judging you because you share the same last name as them. But then it was a little funny because then someone thought I was related to some Mexican artist who also had the last name Garcia. I'm like, no, it's actually it's the most common Hispanic last name. But no, I'm not related to this mariachi whose last name is also Garcia. I'm not, but it's cool if you think so. But yeah, that's why I would also want that in the book if I were to
Yeah.
publish it.
Yeah, no, that and like it's okay that you don't have like a legit actual title yet. Like
Title.
that's okay. Not everyone
I know.
does. I've had people who
I
like
did.
describe the cover. It really this question like kind of just has a mind of its own, and people take liberties with it, and that's fine. Like everyone's gonna answer that question differently. Not everyone's gonna have the same answer. If everyone had the same title of an autobiography, then we might be having some issues. It'd be a little suspicious.
Yeah.
All right, so for the next month or so, because I told you this is going to come out next Monday, tell the peoples, um, anything you have going on, whether it's you're planning on doing an episode, anything like that.
Okay. I'm still okay. No, if it's going up on Monday, okay, then this should be up by then. I was gonna talk about the Light the Fees episode that I still need to upload, but as far I want to try and just get at least, well, especially while I'm on spring break, at least at the very least record an episode of Light the Fuse and the New Japan Takeover because again I'm on spring break. This is probably my only available time to actually do it without having to work around school. That's mostly what I have going on. Like I said, I'm a full-time college student, and even then, I'm like during this spring break, I'm gonna be working on stuff for one of my classes. So,
Mm-hmm.
there's really like and then of course, like I still want to try and do my nails and stuff. So like, there's still like quite a bit to do, and honestly, like it's just also finding a guest to do something with me. So that's basically what I'm probably gonna have in the near future.
That's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
All right, Savannah. Now is your time to shine.
Oh
I
no.
always allow people to ask me anything they want to know about me. Granted, you know a lot about me anyways, and that's okay. But if there's something podcast relating, professional, personal, anything you want to know about
Hmm.
me or ask me anything, I'm an open book, so feel free to ask.
All right. I'm trying to think of something really quick.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, hold on, because I like you again, you're an open book.
I am.
Okay. Honestly, like what were your first thoughts about me? And has that changed from when we first met to like now? Good or bad, Like if you okay, unless maybe you think, which I know you don't, but unless you think badly of me now, then don't say that. But like when we first met, like what were my first impressions? And like how is that has it changed since? Or like do you like yeah, that's basic. I'll say keep
I,
it at that.
I,
Like
I know what you're trying to say. I understand what
yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, there you go.
So when we first met, I think I was like one of the oldest people in that group chat. Right? It was like me, Brooke, and Jermaine. Like we were the three oldest.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh god, I'm dealing with a bunch of children. Which it's the story of my life. I deal with kids all the
You
time.
work with are you old tired and working with fucking children?
Exactly. So I was like, I didn't really talk in there anyways. I was very much like it's the same thing now. Like I'll check that group chat every once in a while, but like I don't
Yeah.
really say anything just because I really 9 times out of 10 don't have anything to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah,
So
you're good.
But like I always see it. I'll scroll, and then you guys go on tangents on like Wednesday, so I'll just like hit the bottom, and then kind of just scroll from there. Which that's fun. I don't care. But back from the original group chat, like you said, I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people. Me and you kind of. It was more so when I said, "Oh my god, guys! Like I'm gonna be on a podcast. I'm so excited!" And you were one of like the only people who really supported me and like were happy about it.
Yeah.
So there was instantly a bond there because I was like, okay, cool. So like she also might be liking podcasting kind of stuff. Because I didn't have a whole lot of friends in the podcasting world yet. Cut to now.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're like the queen bee of podcasting.
I wouldn't go that far, but thank you. And then when I finally asked you to be on one with me, you were very timid. You were very shy.
Oh wow, that has changed.
Oh boy, that has changed. Sometimes I have to reel you in. you are outgoing in the best way.
Even like yesterday, okay, take it easy.
I was like, hey, take it easy. It's not our show. Relax.
Yeah.
But it's
you can't do that here.
Yeah, I was like, on our show, fine, but like, take it easy. And it's more so just like I've watched you grow, like just as a person and as a podcaster in general. So I've seen you at your lowest. You have seen me at my lowest. I've seen you at the highest of highs, and you've seen me at the highest of highs. So like we've gone through a journey together. I always say like, yeah, ShElite is my baby, and I've put a lot into this. But you're also a part of that. You're a part of that journey. I mean, the logo,
of the baby.
You're my podcast child.
Yeah.
You're a baby that helped create the baby.
Yeah.
This podcast.
That sounds so bad out of context.
Don't take it out of context, then, weirdos. You all know what I mean. We always joke that Savannah is a child. She's 21. Turning 22.
Yeah, but to like Jesus, I'm turning, what, 9, he said?
Yes. Like, we always joke. And, like, I turned 27 this year. So, like, you're not that much... Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. You're not that much younger than me, but we treat you as, like, the child of the friend group. And, like, it's all out of love. So, it's... From meeting you 2-3 years ago at this point, you very shy, very close-centered, like, you didn't open up a lot, and I didn't either, to now, where we just fucking go back and forth and bullshit about whatever on ShElite.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where we were and where we are now. You, like I said, you have grown as a person, you've grown as a podcaster. I am proud of everything you have done.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So that is how the impressions have changed. Nothing has been bad. It is all good.
Yeah. Oh, it's because, like, I don't think your opinion of me changed or was going to change, but, like, what happened in, like, August of, like, 2020 when all that shit just hit the fan, and that's basically what killed the original group chat.
God.
I was like, about that was my biggest fear, that I was gonna lose so many friends that I have made because of something that someone had to say that was not true. It was not, like, and you knew it wasn't true. That's why, I was not that worried that, like, you were gonna, like, friend dump me.
Oh, I knew that other person was just scummy and not trustworthy. I could tell. I'm a pretty good judge of character. So I knew when, like, shit hit a fan, and mind you, again, I'm an adult dealing with fucking children. I was just like, this is just, like, high school bullshit that has escalated to something much deeper than that. And I knew that you weren't in the wrong for anything that happened, so it's all good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, but that wasn't my worry, not just with you, but, like, a lot of friends that I had made, I'm like, people are gonna, like, start thinking that I'm, like, this, the way this person tried to portray me to be, and that was not the case, like, promise, like, pinky promise.
Yeah, and, like, that person has had multiple chances, and fucked up every time, so.
Yeah. And this is coming from Katie, probably the most reasonable person in that chat.
Yeah. Yeah,
honestly, like, yeah.
I didn't pop off much, but when I spoke up in that original group chat, I made sure everyone fucking listened.
It was so cool in the beginning, but then it just went to drama. Like someone was offended by something which was never intended to be offensive. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, so honestly, I'm so glad that group chat is dead. It's honestly maybe a little bit liberating because oh my god, like 15 plus people in one chat,
Absurd.
it got a lot. And then if you miss a lot, then you missed out. And
Yep.
oh, so oh,
Yeah.
but
What a
it is
time.
where I met some of my best friends, including Katie. But like of course, I'm talking about like Jaylee and Brooke and stuff. So it like if I'm glad it happened because again, I wouldn't have met some of my closest friends, including Katie. But oh my god, I'm so glad that chat is like dead.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, dead, dead.
Yeah, that group chat. Jesus.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Anything else you want to ask me or know about me?
I did actually have another question,
Okay.
but oh, okay, okay. Would you actually? I'm not saying this as like an open invitation. I'm just saying this like hypothetically speaking. Don't think I'm inviting you, but I'll just say, would if the possibility ever presents itself, would you ever come to Texas?
Yeah, I like to
Yeah,
travel.
because I was like, it would be cool because I know like even they've asked us like, would we ever like meet up 2023 and stuff, which I mean it would be cool. But I'm like, obviously, I am in no financial like. There's no way I could make it happen, but
Yeah.
it would be cool. But I think the best way I could make it possible, if that makes sense, to meet up, like at least for a first time meetup, is if like we met up somewhere like East Texas, because that's probably like the cheapest I could possibly afford a flight.
Yeah, and that question has been brought up a lot to both myself and you.
Yeah.
Have you guys met yet? Like, what are they like
We
in
need to.
person?
We
Yeah,
need to
we
meet,
do.
but
It will happen. Probably not this year because I am doing a lot of traveling in a short span of time.
yeah, no, and I'm still again
You're
I'm still in
still,
college and
yeah.
stuff.
So once we figure that, guys, you will know when we meet in
Oh
person.
yeah, we will not shut up about it.
Hey, there might even be an impromptu show depending on when
Yeah,
we meet up. Impromptu
that is
ShElite
true.
showcase,
Even if it's just like us, both of us sitting in front of a laptop or something.
which we could
Like,
do. That's I have done shows in worse conditions than that. So,
yeah,
uh, yeah. Eventually we will meet. How that will come about to be determined.
TBD. Yeah,
TBD. But yeah, I'm trying to eventually cross off every state on my bucket list. I have
that's
never been
cool.
to Texas in any way, shape, or
Tejas.
form. Tejas, never been there. Like I get to cross off Louisiana this year because I'm going to Nolans, so I'm very excited about that.
Damn.
Very excited.
My state list is a little low, like on where I've traveled to.
You're a child.
I know, but like I see people like I've been here and here. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I've been some cool places, but like I would love to expand on it.
And you, like I said, you're young and you will definitely have the. I didn't really start fully traveling, ironically enough, till like 2021. That's the first time I got
Yeah,
to
and
go to
that's
Vegas, so.
I'm trying to hold on to that. Like I know people like I obviously there's no rush. I'm 21. There's still like but like everyone always is like do things in your 20s. That's the best time to do this. I'm like I am in my 20s and I'm still a broke college student who can't afford to do anything.
It's more so the fact like I didn't really start doing anything till after I graduated college, so
Yeah,
you have the time. And
yeah.
it's everyone will say enjoy your 20s, do stuff in your 20s. And that's true. And that's what I'm doing because I am at the point where I make my own money. I have the funds and the means, and if I can do it, I'll do it. It's a
Yeah.
lot of treating yourself. um, and that happens, and you're allowed to, and you will get there. You will have the
Yeah.
opportunity to treat yourself. Be like, oh, there's a plane ticket to a place I want to go, and a cheap place for me to stay. I'm in. You will get that opportunity. Like I said, once you're done with school, game on.
Yeah.
So you got
Well,
time, baby. Don't worry.
yeah.
Anything else you wanted to ask me? Talk to me about?
I don't know honestly. Like
Because you already know everything, so it's hard.
yeah, there's a lot I know about you. But I was gonna say, like, well, honestly, this is also like a little general question. It kind of has a combination to do with like the last one. But like, for example, it's a little easier said than done because you have your own life, clearly. But like let's say the time comes when I do make my own money and I'm able to afford to go places. The biggest honestly roadblock for me would be that like my parents wouldn't want me going by myself, but I really don't have like many IRL friends to like take with me. So like for example, let's say there's like a show that I want to go to, like, and let's say it's like in, I don't know, fucking Virginia. Would you go to Virginia with me? Like I said, look, I'm going with a friend, and like my dad knows who you are. So if I said like, oh, I'm going with Katie, like I'm pretty sure there would be a little more like security, like, all right, she's not going alone. So
Yeah.
like, could I like you could be like my wingman to like go with me to like, look,
Listen,
I'm taking Katie. It's fine.
I Virginia's only like a 5-6 hour drive for me, so that's nothing bad
Oh,
at all.
fucking must be nice.
Listen, that's also the same thing to get to the other side of my fucking state. So like it's a weird situation. But yeah, like my mom still gets very worried if like when I went to Vegas, she was very much worried about me because I did go by myself, but I was meeting people there. Like I met TC, and like the first time I met Reek and TC, and like I told her I was like,
Yeah.
I have friends who are going, they will be there, but I will be doing the traveling part and staying by myself, kind of thing. And she did get very worried. My mom cares about me. I'm the baby of the 3 kids, so like she
Mm-hmm.
wants me to be okay, rightfully so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I also Papa Garcia, hello.
Yeah.
If he watches, hello. Yeah, like I said, like especially because your dad knows me, and if I have the means and I am free, yeah, easily.
Like I would obviously like talk to you before, like, all right, Katie, we're going here. Or I want to go here, Katie. Can you make it? Like, no, and I
Yeah,
already
I
got
would
the
need a
tickets and all
little
that.
bit of advance, maybe like a month
Yeah,
or
no, I
two.
wouldn't just like drop it on you. Like, Katie, guess what?
Yeah, if I got like a month or two notice, that'd be fine. I mean, hell, I bought a SummerSlam ticket, a hotel, and a plane ticket with like 3 weeks before the event. So
Damn, that's
I,
crazy.
I listen. I know how to splurge, and I know how to ball on a budget. So like I can figure things
Yeah,
out. But yeah, if you ever needed that, just let me know. I needed it a little
I
advanced,
gotcha.
but I'm down.
All right, cool.
Don't worry. Like I said, I understand as someone mama
Yeah.
worries. I get it. Anything else?
I think I'm good for now because I know I could just ask you whenever the hell I want, like
You
any
could.
other questions I might have, like, hey, Katie, by the way.
You realistically could, and that's like one of the things about this is some people just want to know like trivial things about me, and that's okay. Some people want to
Yeah,
know all about my podcasting stuff, and that's okay. I just always think it's fair that I get inside the mind of other people.
so they
There's a
can.
whole episode to get inside of me, but that's you don't need to go watch. Nobody needs to go watch that. There eventually will be a part 2 to that, where I will not be doing shots after everyone. I've kind of been toying with that idea that I eventually this year I do want to do like a part 2 to that. Some different questions, more people involved in it. So
Yeah.
that will be happening sometime this year. I just gotta get some kinks out of it, and then iron out the kinks. That's the phrase. It's been a long day. It's 3 o'clock. It's been a long day.
It's only one where I am.
Well, yeah, because remember I'm in the future.
Yeah, you are in the future.
I am.
Easter time.
Easter time. That's correct. That's me. Easter time. All right, Savannah. Anything else you wanna talk about?
I honestly don't know. I think I'm good because I'm like, again, when I'm put on the spot, I'm like, that's a good question. My mind just goes like blank.
I understand. If you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I mean, I'm pretty sure like we kind of I don't know. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this. Like, I think I'm good. This is just to keep it at that. I think I'm good.
I'll save you. I'll save you. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
save
so
me.
much, Savannah, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Hope I didn't mess up too bad.
No, Savannah, you were fine. I promise you. There's no wrong way to do this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing. But still, I'm like, I don't know what. Yeah, I'm just like.
You're just not used to talking about yourself and doing a whole episode where you basically have to talk.
Yeah,
with someone else there, but I didn't really do a lot of talking, so.
Yeah, like usually you do the talking, then I'll just add on with my own thoughts after you did the talking.
Yeah,
I have time to like gather my thoughts then.
Exactly. So the tables have turned a little bit, and that's okay. But you
the
did
turntable, yeah.
How the turns tabled, yes. Well, Savannah, tell the people where they can find you. Don't worry, I'll do like the whole show plugging for you. You don't have to do that part.
Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at y2garcia_. If there's no underscore, it's not me. Like I said earlier in the interview, you know, when I do my makeup and stuff, when I do my nails, all that's on my Instagram. So you should go follow it if you want to go see it. Yeah.
And so, yeah. I will bring up your shows during this. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were. So I was like, I won't bring.
I got you, baby. I got you. I've been doing this for a while now at this point.
Yeah.
And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at KatieRasson13, the link tree in my bio to get all things ShElite Showcase, twitch.tv/ShElite Showcase, where you can find us live, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish. About 6:15.
Because
6:15.
Because I'm always late. It's my fault.
Savannah is always late, and I love her for it, but it happens to the best of us. It's okay.
Thank you, Katie. I'm glad you say it.
You're welcome. YouTube.com/ShElite Showcase. We always say watch the videos because they are way more entertaining. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, if you want to listen. Like we have been bringing up this entire time, ShElite Showcase is the brand and the weekly show that we do together inside the mind of that you're currently watching. Hi, hello, how are you? In the crowd, currently on hiatus. I'm not really going to focus on that this year. Storytime with Katie Kinsey Bay. There's a new one out. I will be doing a new one soon about my first AEW show where I met Savannah's favorite person ever, Cody Rhodes. It'll be a great story. I'm so excited. And then Savannah has also brought up the fact that she does Light the Fuse and New Japan Takeover, which you can watch previous episodes up on the channel. And of course, a huge shout out to Heel Tactics Justin, who has created the music for all of the shows I just mentioned. He's a musical genius. We love and appreciate him oh so very much. Well, Savannah, this has been fun.
Wow, it has been.
It's almost like I will see you on Thursday.
It's crazy. This is the most I've seen you consecutively. Like, we saw each other Thursday, Sunday, Monday, and now Thursday again. It's a lot of times we've seen each other. I'm pretty sure you're sick of me already.
Oh, stop it. But thank you, everyone, so much for watching and listening. We appreciate it. Till next time. Bye-bye.